Just was like, pop.
And Tatum is hurt.
I just thought the worst injury in basketball has been the Achilles tendon rupture.
I just couldn't help but think, am I ever going to play again? Was never not going to work as hard as I could. I was 100% invested.
Everybody wrote off Jayson Tatum this season, but ever since he came back, he's been playing like a completely different player. And honestly, this might be the most dangerous version of him we've ever seen. Over his last 3 games, he's averaging 25.7 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 6.7 assists, while maintaining a 58.1 true shooting percentage. And the way he's doing it looks like vintage Jayson Tatum. On Friday against the Hawks, Tatum had 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. On this play here, Tatum receives an off-ball screen, then the screen sets another and gets it when he rolls to the basket. The Celtics run another off-ball screen action for Tatum. This time he catches it in the high post and fades away for the 2. Here Tatum catches it, stops at the right wing, and drains the pull-up 3. Here, Tatum catches it on the left wing, notices Pritchard is going to be open, and skips it across. Here, Tatum is used as a screener in a pick and roll. He then catches it in the high post, notices Onyeka slid over to help, so he dumps it down for the free layup. Next, he receives a screen off the ball to slip to the basket and get a tough layup. Here, he cuts to the restricted area, is cut off so he fades back and hits the shot. Tatum then calls an isolation on Kuminga, gets a bit of space to rise up for the shot. He then comes off the screen, tries to drive right, and gets cut off so he fades back and hits the 2. He is effective as a PNR ball handler. Here he notices the double and sees big wide open, so he throws the lob. On this play, he slips the screen, goes one-on-one with Jayson Tatum. Then he spins around him for the layup. On this play, Tatum has the matchup he wants, so he gets into an isolation ending in his signature sidestep 3. Tatum crosses over to gain an advantage, which allows him to have a full head of steam driving to the rim. Just weeks ago, many wrote off the Boston Celtics' 2025-26 season as a gap year. Their superstar forward was sidelined with a torn Achilles, an injury that has ended seasons and changed careers. Then, on March 6th against the Dallas Mavericks, Jayson Tatum checked back in after nearly 10 months away. And in his very first game back, he reminded everyone exactly why he's one of the most feared players in the league. The NBA spent the entire offseason and early season telling itself that Tatum's return would be cautious, limited, maybe even pushed to next year. Achilles injuries don't forgive, so they steal explosiveness, they test confidence. History is filled with stars who were never quite the same. But here's the thing about fear in this league. Sometimes the comeback hits harder than the original rise. And right now, Tatum is making the entire Eastern Conference nervous again. The Celtics, even without him for most of the year, exceeded expectations and stayed in the playoff hunt. Now with Tatum back and playing meaningful minutes, they're suddenly looking like legitimate contenders once more. It's in his first 10 games since returning. The 27-year-old is averaging 19.8 points, 9.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists on 38.3% shooting from the field and 30.3% from 3, while logging about 31 minutes per night. He's already dropped a 32-point game with efficient shooting and playmaking, pulled down double-digit rebounds multiple times, and shown flashes of the mid-range mastery and defensive versatility that defined his prime. To understand why this version of Jayson Tatum has the league paying attention again, we have to go back to how devastating that injury really was, and why so many doubted a full return this season. It happened in the 2025 playoffs. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks. Tatum went down with a ruptured right Achilles. Surgery followed immediately. The timeline for recovery from an Achilles tear is brutal, typically. 9 to 12 months for elite athletes to feel like themselves, if they ever do. Many thought Boston was facing a lost season. Some insiders even reported that Tatum was seriously considering sitting out the entire 2025-26 campaign to ensure he came back at 100% for a championship run in 2026-27. The doubts were loud. Achilles injuries have shortened or altered the careers of stars before. Would Tatum lose that explosive first step? With the confidence in his drives and cuts return, at 6 feet 8 inches and 210 pounds, it built his game around relentless scoring from all three levels, elite playmaking for a forward, and two-way impact. The league quietly hoped this would be a reset year for Boston, a chance for younger pieces to develop while the superstar healed on the sidelines. But Tatum never fully shut the door. He attacked rehab aggressively. He was dunking in practice months ahead of schedule. He practiced, scrimmaged, and kept the possibility of a late-season return alive. In interviews, he spoke about not taking moments for granted, about the little kid inside him who just wanted to play basketball on a contending team. He made it clear he missed the game too much to sit and wait. Then came March 6th. Tatum's season debut at TD Garden against the Mavericks. The building was electric. He didn't need to dominate statistically right away. The mere fact that he was back, moving without visible hesitation, was the story. In the games that followed, the flashes started to appear. Smooth mid-range pull-ups, strong rebounding on both ends, including multiple 12-rebound nights, playmaking vision, and that signature step-back three when the moment called for it. One recent standout, 32 points on efficient shooting against the Charlotte Hornets, including multiple threes and strong finishing. Another night, 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists in a win over Atlanta. He's shown defensive activity, crashing the glass at a high rate for his position, nearly 9.5 rebounds per game in limited action, and the ability to impact winning even while his shot timing continues to calibrate after months away. Of course, it hasn't been perfect. The field goal percentage sits in the low 38% range early in his return, and the three ball is still finding its rhythm. Minutes are being managed carefully to avoid setbacks. Turnovers and minor rusts are part of the process after 297 days away from NBA competition. But the underlying tools are still there. The size, the skill, the basketball IQ that made him a perennial all-star and one of the league's most complete forwards. Only a handful of players have returned from Achilles' tears and quickly reestablished themselves as elite. Tatum is determined to join that group. At just 27 years old, with years of prime ahead, he's already showing he can contribute at a high level while the Celtics push for playoff positioning. Teammates have welcomed him back seamlessly. Coach Joe Mazzulla has praised his readiness and fit. And fans? They're chanting his name again, sensing that the championship window never really closed. The Eastern Conference was starting to breathe a little easier without Tatum anchoring Boston's offense and defense. Now, with him logging 30-plus minutes and producing near double-double lines while ramping up, the Celtics' ceiling has skyrocketed. Some analysts are already calling them favorites to win the East once he's fully integrated. Jayson Tatum didn't just come back from one of the toughest injuries in basketball. He's doing it on his own timeline, with his own motivation, refusing to take any moment for granted on a team built to contend. The rust is fading game by game. The explosiveness is returning, and the fear that once surrounded his absence is turning into something else entirely. The realization that when Tatum is healthy and locked in, few players in the NBA can match his two-way impact. The Celtics are better with him back. The playoff picture just got more dangerous. And the rest of the league? They're watching closely, because Jayson Tatum isn't just returning. He's reminding everyone why he was feared in the first place, and why that fear was never misplaced.